Well, welcome everyone. Uh, Happy Saturday morning over here in Western Canada of Alberta or across North America. I know we have Singapore on the call, so it's late at night. I believe it's in
Midnight.
midnight. Yeah, I figured it was close to midnight, 11 o'clock,
Yeah,
midnight,
it's
midnight.
it's
They're
12
very
o'clock.
well committed. So we thank you. Trust me. I have a very special guest on the call. This is the first time I've actually got to speak to Jeffrey in person. We see him weekly on the private webinars. Uh, it's very, very exciting, and I'm very humbled to bring him on. I have been myself, if ones don't know me, if you catch the replay, any of the new founders, because I know we have many new founders and they'll catch through this replay. I've been in the industry for actually 24 years. I'd say the first 10 years, I was just selling products just so that I can get connected with women around the world, moms, because my kids were little. And I'd say the last 12, 13 years, I've been developing teams, international teams. My experience, I've earned trips and ranks in different companies. Uh, Been on leadership council members of another company as well, another program that I was part of. But I am absolutely blessed, and I know Mike as well, blessed to have Jeffrey on. I know you're a very busy man. I keep on seeing all the posters all over the world, different teams you're jumping on the calls with, and we appreciate that. Um, but I'm going to do a little bit of an interview here for the first 10 minutes with him and ask him a few questions. And then while we're doing the interview, I want all of you guys to write down your questions or type your questions in the chat box on the Zoom call, and I'll go through the questions afterwards and kind of do a Q&A at the very end. So Jeffrey, I know we were just speaking here just before we pressed the record button, but where do you reside for the ones that, because we're all well known, or we know when Jeffrey does his weekly recap videos, it's hello. I can't even, I'm terrible impersonating. But I love it. Even my husband, he's like, oh, Jeffrey's done another video. Yeah, I love it. I love your energy. But where do you reside, and what background do you come from? Like, what's your story?
Well, I live in Washington, North Carolina. We moved here in 1969. I'm originally from New York, a little bitty place called Sherman, New York, which is upstate. We moved here in 69 as a result of my father getting promoted, and they opened up a textile business down here. I joined the military when I was 20 or 21, did about 10 years of active, another 6 years of inactive. And then I got out, and that was in 96. In 2009, 13 years later, I went to the U.S. Army, and I joined the U.S. Army Reserves, and I went to Oklahoma basic training with a bunch of youngsters. And let me tell you, I was 50 at the time, and that'll humble you. But I did another 7 years with them, so I got out after that when I hit 20 years, and I picked up a 20-year retirement for that. And my civilian background, though, has always been in personnel. My degree is in healthcare administration. Like you, I managed for Walmart, a big box retailer. Uh, didn't like that at all. Didn't like the way they treated a long time ago. So um, when I moved, I was in the central part of North Carolina in 2011. I moved over to the eastern, closer to the eastern, couple hours from the East Coast, and I started managing a local durable medical equipment satellite office for somebody that's 2 or 3 hours away from here. The corporate was down there. Did that for the last 7 years. I got out of that in I think it was 2018. Now at that time, I was looking for something. I didn't really like where I was at. I mean, it was okay, but I wanted something bigger and better. And I was looking for a paradigm change in my own life. And I started about 6 months before I ran into On Passive, before On Passive was shown to me. And I started meditating and praying and just really trying to find out where I wanted to go and what I wanted to do. And I started writing a book about that time, about some of the things I was learning while I was going through this. And right at in 2018, the middle of 2018, there was a young man in Virginia that emailed me and said, "Hey, you should take a look at this new company." At the time, I was part of Legendary Marketing, part of CTFO, part of some of the well-known
Yeah.
online marketing platforms and businesses trying to make it, and they were going. I was earning a little bit, nothing really too much. But so I looked at On Passive very cursorily, just kind of in passing. I went back and said, nobody, there's too many promises, and I'm not liking what I'm seeing about the guy running it. And he got my email. A day later, he said, "Yeah, I know, but you really need. I'd really appreciate it if you would look at this for me." And I'm like, "Okay, I get what you're saying, Jim. Okay, I get it. All right." So I did. I said, "Let me look at it." And so, you bring out your proverbial pen and paper and you start looking at it and researching and you start writing all things down and you really look at it seriously. Well, after about 3 weeks, I ran out of information. I just couldn't get any information. It's like I had to join GoFounders to get a bird's eye view of what was going on. And that, to me, again, was genius because that was by design. And that's when I was like, okay, this guy's pretty smart. He's going to get my money because I've got to see what's in there, but he says it's money back. So, okay, water under the bridge. I got in. I started listening to Mr. Mufar on the webinars. By the third one, I was hooked. It was his heart. It was his compassion. It was his passion. Um, it was the vision that he had. Though he hadn't written it down, it had not solidified into the statement that we've now got, that we developed a few months after we started talking. But there was something about him. There was a presence. There was a field. It was him. And so I was in. After that, I was in. I put my book that I was writing on hold, but not before. In that book, which I will share with the next video, because last October, I actually finished it and published it. So it is on Amazon with all my other books. But I also did 4 videos, much like I do videos for On Passive, and I put them on a separate YouTube that it just sits there. I don't advertise it. There's been a couple dozen people find it, but I don't advertise it. It's just kind of parked there. I'm waiting for the right time. And now is that time. So getting back, it was Mr. Mufar that brought me in and just really kind of pulled me right into On Passive, and it was his heart. And everything that I had done the research for, everything that I had written down, and everything I was going to use to explain why it wouldn't work, I then turned around, I reformatted, added a bunch of stuff, and that's what became the ebook, which is phenomenal. It really helped a lot of people. I started giving it away, and then somehow Ash and Cindy and some others got a hold of it, and they got a hold of me, and we talked. And Ash says, "What are you going to do with your book?" I said, "Hey, I wrote it for you. It's yours. Whatever you want to do, I don't care. You do it." He said, "Well, I like fancy." And he wanted to fancy up some of the graphics in it, but he didn't touch any of the words. He printed it just like it was. And, 24 languages later and a couple of revisions, and, that went on. And so I talked with Mr. Mufar. He was such a blessing. And he invited me right into On Passive. His heart was just open and available, and he was willing to talk to me one-on-one, just like he does. He's just so personable. and there wasn't any us and them, and there wasn't a hierarchy. It's him and me, and we're talking about a business and what can we really do, so we started doing some webinars together and started writing some video scripts, for some onpassive.com things. And we started growing, and Go Founders went boom real fast. I mean, when 2018 ended, and I had joined officially in November of 2018, and I was expecting, like so many other people, to um, jump in for 2 or 3 months, do what you can, hit it hard, and launch in February. And that's back when we had the $100,000 budget. We had a 60 or 90-day launch window. I mean, that's what we expected. Nobody really expected that the momentum, the potential of this would expand so exponentially in such a short period of time. It was just unheard of. And everything was falling in place. There were synchronicities that were occurring. There were people coming on board that were wonderful leaders. There were people in Ash's life and circle that were mounting and drawing in. And you had some experts that were coming and getting attention, and they had decided, wow, we can't do the little thing that we thought we were going to do with 5,000 or 6,000 founders, because by the time they were going to launch in February of 19, we were already into 15, 16, 18,000 by February, the end of March. I think we may have been into the 20s, and it was just going so quickly that we could not stay the way we were. So the first thing they did, obviously, was the office he had in Calcutta, India. He had, a half a dozen nice people there. Where he had some people that he'd hired from a company that was going out of business. And the first thing they did was get Go Founders up and running, because we needed a marketing leg for OnPassive and a communication leg. And that was it. Absolutely genius. After that, it just really started going gangbusters. And they said, we can't do this alone. I mean, we're gonna do this alone. We don't want any third party. We're creating everything, and I mean, it just went straight up. And I'm sure his learning curve has been, at a pretty good pitch for a long time. And so, I mean, that's how we really got into it. What I started doing, I just started doing anything and everything that I could to get in and to help anybody that I could to get the idea, to get the picture. And as we moved along, it just floored me. It seemed like every time I talked to Mr. Mufar, he opened it up a little bit more about what he was trying to do. And because of the way I think, I started to see how OnPassive is fitting into the global arena. And I was just like, wow. Oh, man. And I didn't know how to get people to understand. You don't see how big this is. It's not there yet, but it will be there, because we have an expanding consciousness globally that's going on, and there are things being shook up, and we have a methodology that is creating a platform that is set, it's staged, it's designed to be that landing spot for every one of these systems that we have worldwide that are in peril and or crashing or changing, that are in chaos. And I would urge anybody to go to my YouTube and listen to. There was a couple of them where I explained. I think one of them had the big yellow butterfly, explaining what chaos was and our journey. And you've got political systems, you've got medical systems, you've got philosophical systems, religious systems, economic systems, business, corporational systems. All of them are in flux. Every one of them, social media, the online systems, everything is in flux and changing. And some of them are dropping like flies. Some of them are trying to change. Some of them are revamping themselves and recreating themselves. And then what you have at the heel of that, when that's starting, last March, you have COVID. COVID comes in, and it really brings a lot of attention to a whole lot of problems, because now we've got a lot of people globally home, right? No longer working. Businesses are shutting down. Economies are starting to collapse. Life is not looking real good for us. And here we are it's on its demise. The whole global is in chaos, and on passive is rising out of that chaos with platforms that will reach every single platform that is crashing, and we will be a landing, a runway for whatever rises or whatever comes out of that. So getting the big picture on passive, as big as on passive is, it's bigger than what you think it is simply because of what's happening globally, and it's part of the global economic change. He is not kidding when he says we will own the internet.
למה אין לי
We will
קול?
own the internet.
מה קרה לקול?
Oh,
So I hope I didn't like
no, no, no,
overstep there, but
no, absolutely
I'm getting
not.
excited.
I want you. I love listening to you. I'll be honest with you, because we think the same. I personally, I know many of us that know me personally, but I know why I'm speaking to the people that are going to catch this replay. Our family's been affected. I live in Alberta, Canada. It's oil and
Yeah.
gas, right? My husband got laid off last March 21st. He's still not working. That's why I cannot wait for soft launch, and I'm eager beyond, because I know this is our new income.
Well, you're close. You're close.
Very, very close. Absolutely. So I totally hear you. It's not that I don't struggle, but I struggle when I see people, or when I'm speaking to people and they don't see and understand what on passive is. So I become very, but again, I got thick skin too. So I'm like, whatever, if you don't catch the vision, too late for you. It's unfortunate, but you just keep, you never quit. You just keep going. So
yeah.
Thank you.
You know, when you talk about the vision, I know that in the last webinar, if you saw that with Mr. Mufara and Mike Ellis, Marty, I mean, great group, spot on. They know what's going on. You know, they're in the know. They can help lead. And we did say, you know, we really don't want to be talking money. We don't want to. I mean, you can talk about money. You just don't want to put a specific figure out there. And I know I was guilty of that in some of my last videos, where I'd say, yeah, it's 250 or less. And I would even get flack from founders. Why do you say it's 250? I said, because that's the cap. He said it'll be between 100 and 250. So I'm saying 250 tops, you know, whatever. So I don't say that anymore, which is neither here nor there. We wanted to try to stay away from that. But as far as the vision goes, it's intact and it's there. And we are very, very close to the, well, I would hesitate even to say soft launch, because we're actually in it with the alpha testing that is accruing or occurring right now. When the alpha testing is done and we start into the beta and soft launch, to me, are synonymous, because that's what we do. I mean, that's what as founders, we have a responsibility, and we are accountable, you know, to living up to the on-passive standard. And one of the responsibilities we have is taking a look at these products and being here to help in the beta, you know, which is phenomenal. And that's going to be happening rather quickly. So.
Absolutely. I know another question I wanted to bring to you is, and I know you've explained it very well in your amazing videos, but I personally, because I've been in retail, florist, hairdressing, I'm a people's person. So I naturally can do like and trust. I naturally talk to people. I mean, heck, I've been working at the local floral shop for the last 2 days, and I'm talking to general people, right? I just make conversation with people, but not everybody's like that. And I know 97% of the company of the on passive concept is for the people that don't have those skills quite yet, or don't want to talk to people. We always say it's a self-funding system, and we always say it's launch as a founder and you'll be okay, right? The guaranteed success. Can you shed some more light on that in the perspective for people to understand? Because I know we always say 3 for free, right? But then they get confused and saying, well, you just told me I can launch as a founder and I don't have to do anything. But you know, can you share?
I can address that. Absolutely. And I appreciate you bringing that up, because I got a little off track on my last statement. I started talking about the money, and then I forgot what was the point I was trying to make. And the point is this, that you don't have to talk about money. And to me, that's not even that's not the direction that I even go to when I talk to people and share on passive. It's the heart. But getting back to what you're referring to, if people, um, if you don't want to try to sell on passive to people, and you just want to share it just one-on-one, like you and me, I'm sitting right here and I'm talking to you. What I'm going to say is, listen, on passive is an IT company that is extremely massive right now. They have already built everything that is needed for anybody to do any kind of an online presence or business. Whether it's a corporation that's been in the business for a long time and you just want traffic and you want to get out there and you want to use our tools, good on you. If your mom's sitting at home with some hobbies and that's all you want, good on you. We got something for you. If you want to start a business, we can do it for you. If you've got a business that you want to grow, we can do it for you. If you just want to maintain, we can do that for you. If you have nothing and all you know how to do is surf the internet, but you want to earn an online income, we can do that for you too. You don't have to know anything. Through AI, which is going to become extremely well-known, talked about, and touted, especially in the coming years, AI is going to be responsible for a lot of things. Years from now, your grandchildren are going to see floating vehicles and things that have to do with AI and phase technology and stuff like that. But right now, the AI that we have is totally automated the entire program, or all of the programs on the platforms that are comprising what we call the total internet solution, which is on passive. And when we say that it is a total internet solution, we mean that it will do everything that I just told you that it would do, whether you know anything about it or not. You do not need to know anything about marketing or retail, or you do not need to be a people person. If you can turn your PC on, and if you can think up some kind of a domain name, or even click the icon that says, I can't think of one, so give me one, then you're going to be successful. And the way that happens is because we are the first company in the history of the world that I know of that is not about conflict and disconnectedness. On passive, on passive is the end of separation. On passive takes everybody in. It takes all of the product. Everything is under. It's all under one roof. We're not trying to compete with anybody, but what we are going to end up doing is kind of picking up the pieces of a broken world and putting it back together. And as a result of that, everybody that comes in is going to be able to do whatever it is that they want to do, because we're going to guarantee your success. If you don't have a business, and a lot of the people that you're referring to when you were just saying, hey, can you kind of explain, what about the 3 and free, or what about if I don't know what I'm doing? A lot of people are going to look at us and they're going to go, wow, well, let me take a look. And they're going to find out, first of all, you really don't need to know anything. It is a plug and play predictive business. At every page, at every post, at every turn, there's going to be an icon, or there's going to be a button, or there's going to be something you can click on, and you're going to have a one-on-one interactive with an AI that's going to lead you through you don't need to know anything. For those people that are looking to do something and get a residual income, to come on as a founder, that would be the proverbial ticket. That's what you want to do as a founder, simply because of the benefits. The benefits are, first of all, you get to get in and you got this entire platform, this GoFounders platform that has been done for you. It is to market and to campaign and to communicate, and there's community in there, and you know all the things that are in there. It's a very expensive, very well done, very sophisticated platform that you can go in and learn, and you can do your marketing. I mean, they provide everything for you. It's all click, 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 click. When we start doing the beta testing as founders, we're going to be the beta testers. We're going to be the first ones to see it. But even more importantly, On Passive was created for two things: the founders and humanity at large. Okay. Founders, first of all, are the frontline core leaders of the business. So as a founder, you're going to get first access to everything. You are part of it now. You get to pre-build your network, okay? If you want to. If you don't want to, then don't. Come in, get one founder position, and sit back on your duff. You will eventually be successful. I say this because as a founder, On Passive is going to do the marketing for you. You don't have to market. As a founder, they're going to take your website that they help and develop for you, and they are going to market that. They're going to bring people to it. They're going to use their products and sell their products to your customers and pay you the residual income. So you will be successful, and it will not take you the rest of your life. What we don't want to do is give you the idea that you're going to come in and 3 months after you launch, you're going to be able to retire. That's not practical. And I'd be lying if I said that, well, some people will be able to. I mean, some people that have come in pre-launch and have thousands in their team already, or, my guess is after 3 months of launching, yeah, they're going to be able to kick back. They're going to be fine. But for somebody coming in and it's a single founder with nobody in their team, we're looking at realistically, a 3 to 5 year process where you will be very successful. It could happen faster than that, but I'm trying to set the expectation here, and kind of manage the perception that you're going to come in and, whoa, life is all fun and games, and all I got to do is go on vacation and watch the money roll in. Yeah, that'll happen, but it ain't going to happen overnight. I mean, the business that we've created here in 2.5 years would normally take any business that's serious about doing it 4 to 7 years to create what we've got. And they would be doing it for themselves, and they wouldn't be doing it for a group of founders. But because of the way that we've done it and the genius of Ashley Mufara and the way that he's put this together, we are a business already worth billions. I mean, that's a given. We are worth billions now. When we launch, even right now, this day, today, February 6th, 2021, we have within a stone's throw of 500,000 founders. Now, these founders,
494,000.
Yep. These founders are subscribing customers the day we launch. So we're already launching with 500,000 monthly paying customers. I fully expect, just my opinion, that by the time we hit soft launch, which I think may be, just my opinion, maybe June. I mean, not soft launch, the hard launch.
You mean, yes, hard launch. Yeah.
We'll be at 1 million, if not more. I mean, no company in history has ever jumped out of the gate, right? Bell rings, gate opens with 1 million paying customers. It just, no. And that's part of the genius too. And as soon as we,
sorry. And you know what? You've touched on so many different topics, but I love it because that's what attracted to me. That he's doing it the opposite. He's pre-building his company before he opens to the world.
Right.
And it's never been done before.
Absolutely.
Right? It's
not only that, but you talk about the economy. How many companies do you know that are worth what we are worth now and have what we have that are debt-free? How many companies do you know that launch with that many and will launch debt-free? Now, here's the kicker. Think about this one. We've got 500,000 people that have paid, $100, right? 97, whatever. That's like $50 million, right? And these people, these naysayers, these guys going, gee, what do you do with the $50 million? That $50 million is sitting over an account. It's away from the main coffers. They haven't even touched that. Mr. Mufara and his team on Passive could literally refund every dime to every founder and still launch debt-free. Unheard of. So it's like Michael Williams says, he said it so good. He said, you just got to get in. You just got to get in. That's all you've got to do. Now, if you get in and you're a single founder with nobody on your team, you will be fine. Okay. It's going to take some time, but you're going to be fine. They will do the marketing. On Passive will do the marketing. They will grow your business. You will create residual income, and it will be, it won't be anything to scoff at. It'll be good. But if you want that to happen faster, start pre-building your team. And we say this, right? Build your network before we launch, because when we do launch, and even in soft launch, the company is going to market for you, and they are going to bring in other customers to go in your existing customers. Now, what they were saying a while back, I haven't heard this change, but they're saying with every campaign they do, they're expecting to triple the founder of the customer base, right? So, I mean, hey, if I've got 10 people in my team before launch, and they go out with the first, beta and everything, and or maybe it's not even, just say they don't even do the beta. We jump right into hard launch. So we'll just take soft launch right out of it. Even though as founders, I mean, soft launch, you're going to be able to earn a little bit of money because they got to test the money flow programs, and you're going to be able to pull people in through their marketing. But we'll leave that alone. That's just a freebie. That's a, oh, by the way, guess what else you get kind of a thing. But instead, let's just think whatever team you have at launch, that's what you've got. So if Jeffrey's sitting here and I've got 5 people on my team, that means the first campaign, I'm going to end up with me and 5 times 3, which is 15. So I've got 16, right? If I don't have anybody, I'm going to end up with me and 3. So by the end of the first month, first 3 months, first 90 days, I'm only going to have 3 people. If I've got 5 on my team, I'm going to have 16. That's a big difference. What happens with how many people do you think of this that we've got now have hundreds in their team, or 20 or 40? I mean, there's some with thousands in their team already, which means right out of the gate, as soon as we launch and the campaign start, that first campaign expected to triple means everybody in their team gets 1 more. Or no, everybody in their team gets 3 more. So if I've got 100 in my team, at the end of 90 days after launch, I'm now looking at 100 plus 300 more. So now I'm at 400 customers in your team, each one of them paying residually a subscription to On Passive, and On Passive is paying that founder something from every one of those. So what happens 6 months out? Another 90 days. Whoa, you just went from 400 to 1,200. Actually, you had 400, so you get 3 more. That's 1,600. I mean, you can see how fast this could grow. And, I mean, even if you're only getting a nickel a piece, a dime a piece, when you get up to 100,000 members, I wouldn't even speculate about how much you could make. I'm just saying it's going to happen. It's going to happen. And it's going to happen a lot faster for those folks that want to pre-build the network, which is one of the founder benefits. Right now, it doesn't cost us a dime. We don't have to pay any subscription fees or anything. You pay the $97 for the founder position only. That's all it's there for. $97. You're a founder. You get the benefits. You're done. That's it for right now. But that allows you the use of the GoFounders platform. It allows you to have a bird's eye view of everything that's going on. I mean, baby, you got a ringside seat right here, right now, for the entire development of everything that's going on within On Passive, and you get to participate in it. And not only that, but for generations, you get to literally create a legacy for your family. And every bit of everything that's happening is being archived. 20 years from now, you'll be able to sit there with your great grandchild and say, look, this was great grandma back in the day, and this thing is going to be phenomenal. And it really fits into the whole global situation. We're heading into some turbulent waters. Okay. This year is going to be, well, I won't even get into that, but On Passive, you're at the right place at the right time. And I would suggest anybody with I won't even say that. I'm just saying, just get in. Even if you don't know anything at all, just get in. If the only thing you can do is surf the net and look at videos, get in. Just get in, because we're looking for that founder base. And once we launch, it's done. No more founders. We shut the door. What we've got is what we've got. And then all the marketing super campaigns and all the phases of rollout that we've got, those are going to build the customer base under those founders. And those founders are founders for in perpetuity, forever. And that's what we've got. And that's what we're building now. That's the purpose of our pre-launch.
Yeah. Well said. I really appreciate it. And I know, because we've heard, like, I know our team, I know Eric, he's from Israel. We have some Israel team members on here now. And he was the one that found OnPassive through a friend. What month was that last year? I think March or April last year or something, you said, somewhere in there. But he didn't tell Mike until August. That brought me in like a few days after Mike jumped in. He's like, Erin, you need to look at this. And my life at that time was chaos. I was working full time because I had to go back to work full time because Darcy was laid off. I won't go into that story, but it's okay. It's in the past and I'm here. And there's a reason why OnPassive co-founders came into my life. And I believe that this is the man above has brought OnPassive to the world for a reason. And I 100% believe that. 100% believe that. And I can tell you that the ones that understand this, and I have my personals, I have 15 founders. I don't have to have a huge team. Again, that's the thing. That's the brilliance of it. And I have sponsored way more in other companies and other projects I've done. But I will tell you is I'm all about duplication. And I've seen our team duplicate and duplicate and duplicate. And when people understand the vision of understanding, yes, you can come as a founder. You can just sit back, like you said, cross your arms and let the system do its thing. That's what it's meant for. But if you simply just go out and get 3 founders to go to make sure that you can go and impact other lives, it's easy. I've been through several platforms in my period of 24 years, several. I won't tell you how many, but several. But this has been the most easiest thing ever to share. I have got people that typically are skeptical, like not typically, hugely skeptical. And they're like, I'm in. And they're the ones that are on pre-building a team right now. And they have never, ever sponsored people. They're scared to talk to people and they're sponsoring people like crazy. It's just simply sharing. We're the messenger.
Good point. I missed the you talked about the 3 and free, and I missed that. 3 and free is real easy. Once you have 3 people in your network, those 3 people are paying subscriptions to OnPassive, right? Out of the profits from that, OnPassive will pay your subscription. So it's not really free. It's just not coming out of your pocket.
100%.
Okay. It's kind of like when Mr. Ellis and Marty, my friend Marty, you talked about duplication. He says leverage, and that's what you're talking about. You're talking about leverage, and he's real big on leverage. But like Mike and Marty say, in their videos, after a while, it's free for you. Well, it's really not free, but you ain't paying for it. What they're saying is the company is taking the profits from the first 3 people in your level, and they're paying your subscription. So from the 4th person in your level on, you're into profit. That's all that means. If you don't want to recruit, you don't have to. Absolutely not. They'll end up sooner or later, you'll end up with those 3 people in your team. You may end up paying the first month subscription, but that's probably about it. So I was just going back and trying to cover that.
Yeah. No, and that's so true. That's so true because people don't understand that. They actually say once you get your 3rd person, not founders, your personal founders, but 3rd customer, if you come in as your founder and you don't have anybody and the system's doing it, you're actually in the green, you're not in the red, which is unheard of, guys. That's never been done before. So that for the amount that we know, I mean, I know I get this question tons. I'll let you talk or share a few words, Mike, but so many people ask me, well, Erin, I need a PDF for the comp plan or PDF for how we get paid. The company hasn't launched. The company hasn't launched. We only
Yeah.
have the inside information as a founder, and that is the key thing. It's never been done before. Mike, did you have something to say?
Yeah, I want Jeffrey to talk about another point. In my 32 years in network marketing, I saw company that they launching the company, they are not ready. The tools is not there. The product is not performing because it's a launch stages. Can you talk a little bit what Ash said? We're not going to launch until we 100% ready.
Yeah, that can be scary if you, especially if you know that Ash is a perfectionist, right? It's like, oh man, that would be 100 years from now because it'll never be perfect. That's not really what I mean. That's what he says. You know, when we're 100% ready, he's saying when he and his team of developers and engineers and the lawyers, can't forget the lawyers. We want the lawyers backing us up. When everybody is on the same page saying, "Bang, we're ready," we're going to go. It doesn't mean that every product's got to be 100% flawless, super free, or we're not doing. That's not what he means. He's talking about when everybody within the company, the lawyers, the engineers, the developers, the money moguls, the people backing it, when everybody's of the same mind, and we're drawing to that. Okay. I mean, it was like this. See if I can fit in the screen. It was like this wide, and the closer we get, the closer they get, and when these meet, bang, everybody's in agreement, they're going to hit launch. That's really what he's talking about. Now if you think about it, OnPassive has been launching for the last year without a doubt. I mean, every time we make a new product, that's something else, and that's part of a pre-launch. Especially, we're getting closer when you've got products out there that are being internally tested, when they're being alpha tested. And right now, there have been a lot of alpha tested products that are ready now to go into the secondary stage of testing, which brings in the beta testers, the 500,000. That's when you put stress on the system. That's when you put a load on the system, right? That's what the beta testing is. In alpha testing, you've got groups of 50 or 100, these engineers, these developers, these people within OnPassive, where they'll run the system. They'll run it and see if any issues come up, see what cracks, see what breaks. They'll put a load under it, kind of like you will a battery. If you take a car battery to a shop and say, can you test this battery for me? They're going to put it under a load. And then when they do that, they're going to see how it's performing. That's the same thing with these products, with these software products that OnPassive has, these platforms, these individual departments, these IT stacks, right? He's going to bring them in, but you don't want to just dump it all on the system at once. It's kind of like, the big top, a circus. Remember the clown or somebody sitting there with the plates all up in the air? You ever seen him with the plates? Mm-hmm. Well, he comes out, he doesn't throw them all up in the air at once. He throws one in the air, catches it and spins it, right? Spins it, keeps it spinning. It gets a little wobble, it'll spin it. He'll get that thing spinning just perfectly. Once it's up there, it's minimal to keep it spinning. He knows it's going good. He'll put another one up. Do the same thing. He gets a wobble. Wobble, better. Got to fix it. Get them both spinning. After a while, he's got lots of them up there, and he doesn't have to do much to keep them going. That's kind of like the same thing we're doing with these products. He's going to take I hope he takes Academy first, and I'll explain in my next video why that's my favorite, but I got a reason for it. I hope he takes that one first and puts it in and starts to ramp it up. They'll take, maybe 100 founder accounts, and they'll start running that marketing campaign and see if anything breaks, and they'll introduce the product and see if anything breaks. And if it starts purring nicely, they'll ramp it up. They'll put more load on it, put more load on it, put more load on it. Eventually, they're going to be running, 500,000 accounts through it, and it's just going to be purring like a machine. Now, it might break, might not break. I'm tending to think that they've done a good job, and my guess is the issues are going to be very, very few. And once it's up and running, they're like, okay, this plate's spinning. We love it. It's doing fine. Let's put some more load on the system, introduce a new product. So that's why he's saying, hey, we're going to take one product at a time. We might end up with one a week. We don't know what's going to break. We might end up with 2, 3 a week, one a day. We don't know. We don't have a crystal ball. We cannot promise you. What we can promise you is We're going to launch and you're going to be successful. And we're doing it the right way. And we've got to do it this way. And OnPassive does everything they do the right way, simply because it's the right way. They do what's right because it's right. Okay. And that's everything from weeding AI into the products to how they're handling the attorneys and the legal team, the legal department, and all of our the registrations and all of the regulatory guidelines that have got to be done. Let me tell you something. OnPassive is making a new class. Okay, there is no more world class. You want to be at the top, you are OnPassive class. Nobody has done it like us. Nobody will do it like us. Nobody will ever be able to be anything negative. Once we launch, we will be so far above reproach. These companies will literally be flocking. We will be the hunted, like Mr. Mufara says. And the reason that we're doing it this way before we launch is, like he also says, you want to pay now and play later. Because if you flip that around, and if we don't do it right before we launch, we're going to have system crashes. We're going to have problems. We're going to have governments or regulatory places trying to come in and go, wait a minute, we didn't know about this or that. No, you want it all up front. You want it transparent. You want it clean. You want it fresh. You want it clear. You want no questions in the shade. It's got to be, and that's what they mean by perfect. It's going to be perfect. So when we launch, everybody's going to know what we are and where we came from, and nobody's going to be able to say one word to slow us down. We are unstoppable. We will be unstoppable.
Wonderful. And I really appreciate and thank you, Mike, for asking that question, because for the ones who was not on this past Thursday private webinar, when we thought at first, from what I haven't even got to watch the whole recording because I was working at the flower shop, but that's key. That's just like the iPhone. We all know the iPhone. Every year they come out with I love Micah Ellis's analogy he's just shared on his video. I've seen it this morning, and he just posted it, and he said, we all know the iPhone users or the lovers of the iPhone or Samsung, doesn't matter, right? Android is, they send out the features and then we all wait for okay, we got to go get the new phone, right? Same type of thing. And I love how Ash is bringing the products out that way, because they're basically it's like just like a movie trailer, same type of thing. When a brand new movie comes out, same thing.
You are setting the expectation for
these products. Absolutely. There was a question that came in from the group here. It says, what do we have to do with the products when the soft launch, when most of us are not that's computer savvy?
Yeah,
Oh, are you here?
These products coming out. So by the time they do, and they're out, bang. I mean, people are rushing to get it and rushing to test it and rushing to use it. Just like anytime iPhone or somebody, Apple comes out with a new product, oh my word, there is a lot of anticipation. It's gotten to where they don't even care what the product is. Oh, Apple made it? I'm getting one. I think anyway. I'm not a big Apple fan, but it's all good.
Absolutely. Did you hear my question?
No,
okay. I got frozen. That's weird. Like, I haven't had that forever. Although it's really minus almost 30 here today, so maybe that has something to do with it.
It's so cold there.
Exactly. I know. All of you guys who live in warm weather, you wonder how we survive, but we do. The question was, thank you for answering on that. Absolutely. The question was, what do we have to do with the products when the soft launch happens, when most of us are not computer savvy? I know personally myself, being in the industry, and I'm always looking for systems to bring in to help my teams. I've, had autoresponders, and all that part of it. Some people are never done that. So they're scared. Like, do we have to use these products through soft launch? And what's the purpose of the soft launch for us founders to see them?
Oh, you're gonna love this answer. For these people that are non-tech, right? Non-technical and don't like programs and might not even. I mean, I've got a brother-in-law that he knows how to turn a PC on, but other than that, I'm not really sure that he knows how to do anything else. Um, as far as using anything during soft launch, think of it like this. You're a kid with a new toy, go play with it. You will not break it. And if you do break it, good on you. Yeah, that's what you want because we want to know what the weaknesses are. See what I'm saying? So we can fix them because you know what? If we've got people going in there and playing with it and they do something and we hit a glitch, don't you think? I mean, we got a market of what? What's our market cap? 5.5 billion people? Don't you think that a few of those are going to do the same thing this one of our founders did? Yeah, we don't want it crashing out on the public. We want it crashing in with the founders. So you're going to have tech people that are man, they're brainiacs and they can't wait to get their little fingers just moving across those boards, right? And get in there and play with this stuff. And then you've got people that know nothing about software that are going to get in and they're really going to kind of henpeck the keyboard but you're going to get better. You're going to get better because wherever you're at, you're going to have an icon that will help or an AI voice that will talk to you, or there's going to be a chat down here in the bottom. On every screen that you go to, you will have some sort, if you don't know what to do or what the screen is, there will be something there. It's by design. It was made. I don't think anybody's an idiot, but let me tell you something. Ash Mufar and his group have made this entire system so flawlessly integrated, it is idiot proof, period. And if you can get on there, all you got to do is play with it. We want you to break, see if you can break it. You won't be able to break it, but see if you can. And if you're one of the ones that do something and there's a glitch, the system's going to pick up on it real fast because it's integrated with the AI and it's constantly being scanned. Of course, I'm doing woo-woo, but it's not really woo-woo, but the system knows, the AI knows, it knows who you are logging on. Oh yeah, this is a sophisticated, very sophisticated platform. And all of them are integrated together. So you don't even have to worry about it. If you don't want to do anything, just start logging into your, I will guarantee you, I would make a running bet. Anybody that doesn't want to do anything, you're going to log in your back room. You're going to go, oh, wallet, what's that? And if you don't click on that wallet, you're not human. You just clicked on that wallet, you are beta testing. You go in there and you see, oh, what's that? I didn't even see that. Click. Oh, you're beta testing. Gotcha. You're participating and you didn't even want to. Kind of like that. So go in and have fun with it. That's what it's for. That's what we want to do. We want the product to be tested before we open it publicly because right now, nobody's paying for it. It's not costing us anything. If we fail with it, it's not really failing because we're beta testing and we're looking for the flaws. It's kind of like when these people hire these white hat hackers, right? They come in and they say, we've got this system. We're paying you to break into it. Let's see if you can do it because they want to test their security. Same thing here. He's giving it to the founders and saying, founders, play with it. Have a great time. See what you can do with it. And by the way, we're tracking everything that's happening. So if something breaks, we're going to know it. We'll be able to fix it before we ever launch. So just have fun with it.
100%. I totally agree. And I know I learned through my journey that to become more successful, you have to bring more value to the marketplace. And,
absolutely.
And I'm going to tell you is there's not just digital marketing tools and on passive as products. There's every aspect of life in the products of on passive. You understand and hear, Ash, get accountable to your business. I know you may come in as a founder and you have no team members, no extra founders to come in underneath you in your level one. But I'll tell you, get on those Thursday webinars. You're going to learn so much from one week to the next week to the next week. Heck, I have partners founders that have literally said to their employers, I got to take Thursday afternoon off because I need to be on the calls, because it drives me nuts that I go into the team chat and I see all this information and saying, what did I miss? Even for myself this week, it's going to be the same thing. I'm going into Valentine's Rush. I'm helping out a local brick and mortar business to get them through one of their most profitable holiday rushes, right? I get it, especially because of the craziness that we've all had to deal with, right? So I'm there.
Yeah.
That's just who my heart is. I'll go help them. And that's the key is you will want to click on those, like Jeffrey said, you're going to want to click on those little whatever products that we'll be able to play with through the soft launch as Ash brings them out, and the team brings them out to us. So thank you so much for that. Mike, did you have any more to add before we wrap it up?
Mike, while you're thinking about that, let me add this in, Erin. I
Mhm.
did a video a little 2 or 3 days ago, 4 days, a week, I don't know. It's called an encouraging word or something like that. But you're right. When I strongly encourage anybody to go back and listen to the recorded webinar, even if you're on the live webinar, because the way our mind works, you miss a lot of it because you'll go into a thought, and when you engage your imagination, your analytical brain is now preoccupied and your subconscious takes over, and it will not hear what's being said because you're active here. If you go back and listen to those recorded webinars, you're going to hear things that you didn't hear the first time, and you're going to go, oh wow, I missed that, that sort of thing. So I would encourage anybody to do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you, Jeffrey, for coming to our webinar. Thank you.
Must say, if I can, Jeffrey, I'm exciting to see you the first time. Let's say almost frontally with us. I only about 8 months in on passive Go founder, and I always show all the webinar that the company warm up, and I was always excited about your temperament. Okay, I don't know how to say that, but when you talk, uh, people can believe you. Okay,
Oh yeah.
many people can talk better than me, better than everybody, but no, not everyone can talk and be so honest, so believe. That's what I show from you. Okay, so thank you for all the time I show you. Thank you. You are here now.
Thank you. Thank you.
And that's so true. Absolutely. And I think that's why we love your videos. We're like, when's Jeffrey going to get on his next video? We're always looking on your YouTube all the time, or at least I am.
I sure appreciate that. I really do. I have a lot of fun. And a lot of the feedback, so that people know, I try very hard on those YouTube comments to answer every one of them. Now, on occasion, some of them will slip into, there's a couple of folders at the top, like potential spam or something. I don't go into that very often, but on occasion I will, just to see if there's anything in there, and I'll miss them. Oh, that was a week old. But I try really hard because those comments from founders on that YouTube help me to gauge the pulse of the founder base.
Mhm.
And when I know kind of the pulse of the founder base, that also indicates to me where the weak spots are and where I need to put a video out on. So if, for instance, that encouraging video that I put out, I mean, it's like 9, 8, 7 minutes. I don't know how long it goes. It was just, but it was encouraging. That was the result of, 2 weeks of people just kind of being a little bit discouraged. And I thought, there's nothing really to be discouraged. You're just focusing on the wrong stuff. And if we know that we are literally this close to launch, and our time's coming, and that funnel is getting closer, and as soon as we get to the point where we're at zero gravity, man, life is good. Right now, we are at the right place at the right time. On passive is the business for the season here, and life is good.
100%. Absolutely. I cannot echo that much more than what you just shared, because that's the truth. It is the truth. It's people tend to, because our world has been literally turned upside down, people are focusing on the income because we know that we can earn a passive income from on passive as a founder. But I believe in, if you learn to enjoy the journey through the journey. I mean, heck, you have been here for 2.5 years. Myself, I came in the beginning of September. Some came in last week, right? Just enjoy the journey. Get on the on passive train, like we all say. Get on the train. It's about to leave, and just literally enjoy the journey. And you will just, we're changing humanity already.
Yeah.
We haven't even launched the company. And
Yeah.
look at the incredible vision of the leadership council members of all different, backgrounds, what they, where they live, what country they represent, or if they come from corporate world, or if they're been entrepreneur, or all different. It's changing the world massively.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
giving people hope, hence our team Hope, right? So
there's something that I hope your audience can grasp when I say this. If you look at there's a doctor, Dr. Bruce Lipton. He's got a renowned, just a phenomenal doctor. He's been doing stem cell research and stuff for so many years. I mean, since I was a kid. But he is absolutely dead on the money. If you can get a hold of some of his teachings, he does what's he's a biological doctor. I mean, he's into biologies and stuff like that, and he has an outline. I can't remember which book it is, but in one of his books, he talks about how systems fit together and how they grow from one, from the small cell to a cluster of cells to a tissue, from a tissue to an organ, from an organ to a system, from a system to a body, from a body, and how it does that. And he really gives you some phenomenal detail on stuff that he has learned, and it's all science proven. I mean, it is backed up by solid peer-reviewed science. He and Dr. Joe Dispenza and Greg Braden and Dr. Sue Morter. And I mean, the list just goes on and on and on and on. But I said that to say this, that on passive, when you look at the founder base right now of 500,000 founders, and the conscious bubble around the world that we've created, that conscious bubble is affecting not only the founders and not only on passive, but it's affecting the consciousness of the world. And I know that sounds, existential. And I'm sorry, but that's a big word that just means, that we all exist. And it sounds like I'm talking, like mojo or something, but I'm not. It's pure science, and it's absolutely true that we have a conscious ability to affect the globe. And that's what Unfounders was made for. That's why when we open the gate and we as a thoroughbred unicorn coming out of the gate at launch with 1 million or more founders, we are a net connected around the globe that will literally affect the globe and the evolution of humanity and lift up that part of humanity, our own condition, right? Don't misunderestimate you as a founder and your part in that, because we are literally making history. And as we go into 2021, and February is going to be hot, March and April is going to be, man, on the global scale, things are going to be happening. And there's going to be a lot of things this year people will not want to see, but we're going to be forced to look at them anyway. And I'm not doomsdaying. I'm just saying, hang on to your hats. It's going to be a bumpy ride going, the next 2-3 years going into the future. But on passive is solid. It's stable. You can feel the stability as we go into a soft launch, heading toward that launch. You can see that it's becoming more cohesive and coherent, and we've got less that we have to worry about. Everybody's getting on the same page. All the lawyers are on the same page. Ash and his teams are on the same page. The developers and the engineers and the founders are all on the same page. We are getting more coherent. And as soon as we all hit that final right point at that funnel, bam, that's when we're going to go, and it's going to be great. So you don't even have to worry about it. Just take care of yourselves and be safe.
Exactly. I 100% agree with you. Greg, did you have any questions?
Yes, thank you so much. I was wondering as founders and communicating with people, I believe that we can get the help of the OnPassive tools to talk to people and share with people. I was wondering, Jeffrey, if you can touch base on how we can use the tools, because we have perceived or real or perceived issues with communications on our own, but we can certainly get the help of OnPassive tools or people to help us in communicating this to the world.
Are you talking before launch to build your network? Or are you talking about after launch?
Just at any time with sharing it with people, whether they're,
Okay.
About OnPassive to introduce them to the business.
Okay.
And everybody has perceived communication issues or what have you, but
Challenges,
you can
sure,
simply
sure.
share, right?
Yeah, I was never a marketer myself, so yeah, I get it. Which is why I just put out yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yesterday, I think. Maybe the day before. I think it was yesterday. I just put out a video. The new one. It's called. It's AI. It's got the picture of the face. The reason that I did that particular video is because coming out of that last webinar, I had the distinct feeling that there was a lot of people that didn't know how to market this, where to get information. How could you put this out so that you guys could build your marketing, So the only thing I did, I went to the onpassive.com website. I grabbed the pictures. I put 10 of them in a PowerPoint. Then I grabbed the verbiage from the page and I put it all in a Word document. And then I just narrated the Word document to the PowerPoint, and it came up with an OnPassive video that is very generic. It's a very good video. I put my link in the description box, but I did it as an experiment because it seems to have been well received. And I'm hoping that people will start downloading that. And it's small. It's like 11 meg. So you can actually send that to a friend or a family member, or you can send it out in an email to a list, right? Because it's emailable. It's not something you got to go to website to see. And you can put your information on it. Or if you post it anywhere, then you can put your link on it, because it doesn't say anything about Jeffrey. It's all about OnPassive. Now, if that works out well, I mean, that would be one great way for somebody that doesn't know how to market. Snag that off my YouTube or email me and let me send it to you in an email. That way you can send it out and use it. But even more than that, because of the way that I did that, I can now go, because I know I can do it. I mean, I've never done it before. I thought, well, gee, let me try it because it should be easy, right? I can go to every one of the links that we all have, open those links up, and then there's pictures and words on each of those, and you can make a video literally from every link that you've got. See what I'm saying? I mean, with a bunch of those, and just pass them out and let people just use them because they'll be generic. But when you send them out in your own email, when you send them out or have, for whatever, I mean, however, put your link in it and tell a little bit about you and a little bit about OnPassive and just send it out and let us do it. Now that's an easy one, before we even launch. Once we are in soft launch, then, and we're doing the beta, we will have access to some of these tools, in which case you can very easily invite people to say, hey, take a look at this tool. I mean, they're going to love it. And to give you an understanding of who's going to love it, think about all the systems that I just talked about a little bit ago. The economic systems, philosophical systems, religious systems, educational systems, political systems. I mean, I could keep on naming them. There's tons of systems out there. For every system that's currently in crash mode, right? That's gonna, as we go into this year and things start to heat up on the global scale and things start happening, they're gonna need OnPassive more and more and more and more. And OnPassive has a landing pad for everybody that has anything to do with any of those systems. So there is literally, whether you might just be going online as a hobbyist and like to write poetry, we got something for you. You just might be Grandma Moses wanting to get a hold of your grandchild. We got something for you. You might be CEO of Amazon. We got something for you. So everything that's out there, it doesn't matter who it is, you send any invite to any product, somebody's going to want it. So if you're worried about you being personally marketing, OnPassive's got your back. Jump on OnPassive's back. We're going to carry you right straight through the finish line. And some of you are going to be holding on for dear life, maybe even kicking and screaming to stay there, but you'll get there. We'll make sure of that. So there's not a lot of worry in my view about being able to market this, because first of all, everything is cutting edge. It's all brand new. There's nothing secondary. There's no third-hand parties or third-party vendors. Okay. It's all totally done for you. It's all completely functional. It's all under one roof. It's all connected and integrated and seamlessly integrated with each other to work flawlessly. And all you have to do, especially after we launch, they're doing all the marketing for you. You come up with a web name or web domain, and all you have to do is click a button or two or three, and you've literally created through the AI and through their expertise your website, which then they will take every one of the OnPassive products, which we've got 50 IP stacks, right? IT stacks, 50 departments, right? Now, each of those departments have products within them that are all integrated. So when you talk about OnPassive's products, there are several dozen, not just 50, but those several dozen comprise 50 standalone businesses or 40 or 30, just a bunch. Who cares what the number is? I don't know what the real number is, but there's a bunch of them. Okay, so there's a bunch of products and everybody's going to need them. And the beauty of that too is that when they jump onto one and they see something up in the icon that pops up and goes, hey, you know what works really well with this program? So they go, oh, wow, let me check that out. To click. And now the two of them are connected flawlessly. He didn't go anywhere, right? And he goes, whoa, this is cool. And it will automatically do that. It will show you, oh, this one works, this one works. So you've got a system that sells, markets, it does it all for you and dumps the change in your wallet. So life is good. Don't even worry about it. One day at a time, you're going to get there. How do you eat the elephant? One bite at a time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
One bite at a time.
One bite at a time.
Exactly. and that's the thing is, I guess that's a great question, Greg, because I know some people kind of struggle and say, well, how do I share OnPassive? Because we can't show people products. Utilize Jeffrey's videos, utilize Mike Ellis videos, utilize everybody in the Leadership Council. Why do you think Leadership Council members are doing these videos with these weekly recap videos or whatever? Like you said, you're watching the comments, you're reading the comments, you're seeing what the founder base needs, what they're looking for, right? And their questions. Because trust me, when we go on those private webinars, when we're typing on Zoom, I cannot wait for OConnect to launch. It's horrible. Like it's frustrating. I'll be typing a question and it takes like 10 minutes to type a question in there because the Zoom system can't keep up, right? So thank you for those videos because that's how I've shared it. I do not try to talk about it. I use a third party to share the information. And that's the key. And we appreciate all those videos that you do yourself, Jeffrey, and all the other Leadership Council members that are taking the time to do these videos because you've been with ASH for 2.5 years or 2 years or year and a half for some of the Leadership Council members. And we're really appreciative of that. So thank you so much.
Can I add something right in here? I know you're getting ready to close this up, but this is also very important. And that's for all of the audience here, all the listeners, all of your team members. It is extremely important that we understand that the Ash is a man. He's one man, albeit an incredible man. He is one man with a vision. And we really need to lift him up, lift him up in our prayers, lift him up in our thoughts. We need to bless him. I've said on other videos that, you know, and I use the word blessing as in biblically blessing, which means to speak good about, right? Words have power, and when you speak good words out, you know, it blesses people. We need to bless him and his family. We need to bless his teams, you know, the developers, the engineers, the lawyers, the people that are working all this together and making it all work right. We need to bless the whole of On Passive. We need to bless the founders, and we need to just, as much as we possibly can, stay away from negativity, stay away from bad vibes. We all know what that is, you know, but instead stay on an energetic level. Be joyful about what we're doing. If people understood being joyful is the key to health and life, you'd be joyful a lot more. I mean, look at the children. I mean, you gotta love it. Just be like a kid, enjoy the journey, lift them up, bless them, keep them in your prayers, especially Mr. Mufara. I mean, he's a thoroughbred in my opinion, and I love the man to death, but he is a man. And he is amazing to me, and I want him to stay amazing. You know, I know as a creator myself, I create things. Just my granddaughters, you know, she creates because she colors. Every one of us, we create something all the time, whether it's, you know, whether it's a drawing or whether it's just an idea. We're creators, and when we have people that come and look at something we've created and they diss it, you know, they disrespect it or they talk bad about it, or they don't see anything good, it hurts us at a personal level. And I am very, very sure, you know, some of this stuff that Mr. Mufara hears and some of the comments that happen to come out, and it might not even be directly negative. It's just like, really, you still think that? Are you still asking that? Some of these things have got to hurt, and we just need to be aware and be joyful with what we do, lift people up in our teams, in On Passive, in the foundership, globally. Just lift us up, bless each other, you know, keep the good, keep the faith, as they say, is all, you know, just, and that's all. Just lift everybody up that we can.
100%. Absolutely. We're part of the movement that's about to happen. Massively.
Amen. Amen. Oh,
Huge,
it's happening.
It's already happening. Absolutely. I totally agree. I mean, I know when I joined, it was like 176,000. The week that I joined, it's 494,000 guys. Like, so don't get just, I know I know the IT department right now is doing massive updates to our back office and everything. And people are getting frustrated because they can't log in, and I get it. I understand, but just keep trying. It's not because they're locking us out. It's not because they're doing bad things. They are literally, guys, we're like literally right around the corner of soft launch. Like when that kind of action happens, we're knowing that we're literally around the corner of the beta.
Yeah, there's
testing.
millions of moving parts. You bet.
Right
You
now.
bet. They're doing a phenomenal job.
And
you know,
that's to your comment about prayers to Ash and prayers to the team and prayers to his family. Like, I would not want to be Ash right now with what's happening in the world right now. Like, honestly, I give him all the amazing prayers from northern Alberta all the way down to.
And you know what? I would suggest also that if you have a couple of minutes, jump into your back office and click on your name and go to support and send them an appreciative letter. No challenges, no worries, no problems. Love what you're doing. Glad you're there. We appreciate you. Let them know. Let them know, because I'll tell you what, I don't think I'd want to be them either. There's too many moving parts for me to hang on to. So yeah, life is good.
100%. Before we close off here, does anybody else have any more questions? I don't know if anybody else had any more questions, or going once, going twice. Sounds like a auction. But thank you so much. I really appreciate it, Jeffrey. I appreciate your time, being very candid. I could not wait for this interview. Honestly, I've been dying. We've been so busy doing a lot of things. Every day the team is growing, and you know, and that's what it is, because we're impacting people's lives already, and
it's only going to speed up. It's only going to go faster. Your team's going to expand, and the more that come in, the faster it's that bubble's just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger.
I have team members that call me and say, my team's up to 65. My team's up to 43. Like, what the heck's happening? I'm like, because the word's getting out. We're the buzz. We're the buzz, guys. That's a good thing. You can't rely on Google review. Don't even go there. We won't even go there.
We are the hunted.
Yeah, exactly. We are the hunted.
Thank you.
Exactly.
Thank you for everyone. Thank you, Jeffrey. Thank you, Erin. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, everyone.
Absolutely. I really appreciate everybody. Thank you so much, Jeffrey, for taking the time out on a Saturday morning or afternoon for you now over on the East.
I'll send you an email here shortly.
Thank you. Thank
Absolutely.
you. Have a good week.
Thank
Bye.
you
Bye,
guys.
bye, bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.